sidetracked, and it was like, really shouldn't do that. I have learnt the hard way not to do that, and still I did it. Okay, you know I don't normally measure stuff, right? But this particular layout, I wanted it to be measured so that I could get, when I'm doing lines, I feel like it needs to be measured. So what I started off with was the Vicky Bouton Foundations paper. And that is great if you're going to add mixed media to your page. Do I add mixed media to it? No. No, I didn't. Could have done this on normal paper. But to be honest, it's such a good sturdy paper. I decided because I was going to do some sewing on it, I thought that would be really handy. And guess what? It was really handy. It was great. So I went along and I measured in, so it's a 12 by 12 sheet. I measured in 1 inch from each end. So in 1 inch in to the 11 inches. And then I went across 1/4 inch all the way along. Now I'm creating a rainbow. You can see at the top there. Because I wanted to do some stitching. So I pulled out, that's just an old mouse pad, and I just used that and my pokey tool to put the holes in the page. And to be honest, I don't know if I've even done a video like this where I do my sewing. I don't think I have. Not sure. Maybe I have. I don't know. But this is just something super duper simple, and I hadn't done any sewing or anything like that for ages, and I thought, you know what? I really felt like it. So yeah, I gave it a go. So both top and bottom, I went along, coming in 1 inch to leave me a border all the way around. And oh yeah, and then I went across in the center every 2 inches. So I came in 1 inch and then went across every 2 inches. Now, this is where I sort of semi-deleted. I removed the lead pencil, then realized I need some of those. So what I decided to do was I would do a black in between each color just to define it. You know what? Rainbow is kind of, I'm really enjoying doing the rainbow thing at the moment, and it's just really pleasing to my eye and I'm enjoying it, so why not do it? Now this is how I do my embroidery, okay? I just washi tape on the other side of it, and it's super, super simple, and it's that easy. Now this one, I actually made the decision, look at that, I got a knot within the first 2 pulls. Can you believe that? So what I decided to do was just do 1 straight stitch, and it actually turned out pretty cool. I normally don't do 1 full straight stitch like that. I usually do blanket stitch or something along those lines. I usually go down that route, but this is where, here, look at this. See, leaving the boo-boo in there for you, so you know that I'm hopeless too. I do it as well. So that particular one is supposed to be going into the center, and I'm watching the show on my iPad, and I'm not taking any notice of what I'm doing until about here, somewhere here. Oops, sorry about that. So that's my go and get my kids from school alarm. Now I am, okay, this is where I realized, okay, I have to go backwards because I muffed it. I wanted the arrows to go sort of into the center. You'll see in a second what I actually meant to do. But like I said, you know, mistakes happen. And when you're watching a Morgan Freeman movie, guess what? Guaranteed it's going to happen. I can't even remember what the movie was called. Olympus something? But it was a pretty good movie. Bit chunky, but it was a pretty good movie. So I backed it out and I fixed it up. So see, I wanted to create like a cross in the center. That's what I was trying to do. And if I was staying focused, it would have been fine. Hey, if there's not a mistake on it, did I make it? Really? Like, come on. Now, I this particular layout, I actually wanted to work with a Cutfile, and I hadn't worked with a Cutfile for ages. So I went to the Cut2U website and I found a couple of new cut files, and this one jumped out at me, and it's called Every Day is an Adventure. And that's what that's what ended up happening in this particular photo, because I went to trim my dog. She's a long-haired Chihuahua, and I ended up having to shave my dog. So to say every day's an adventure, that was pretty poignant with this particular photo. My husband got home and he's like, "What did you do to the dog?" It was pretty funny. She wasn't a fan of it initially, but she got used to it. Now all her hair's grown back for winter, so it's all good. But now I've gone through and I have pulled out my LUNAR pastes, and the one I'm using at the moment is Shooting Star, and it is the most beautiful yellow. Oh, I literally, while I was making this, I didn't really play with it. I got so many new products in the last few days. I didn't really play with it, and I didn't notice how beautiful the color was. So now I've got all these other ideas flying around in my head. I'm thinking, what can I do with it now? So it is a stunning, stunning yellow. I know it looks almost fluoro on here, but that's my lights. I used to always, little side story, squirrel. I used to always watch Missy Whidden, like going back a couple of years ago. I used to watch her religiously, right? And this is how I learnt to get into mixed media and all the rest of it. Anyway, I was watching her, and she would say to me she was putting yellow on her page, but it looked green, and I couldn't work out why. And I thought it was my iPad. I thought it was my laptop. Well, ever since then, I've got a new laptop, a new iPad, new phone. It clearly isn't. So that's when I realized, hang on, it's got to be to do with the lights. Now that I'm a content creator myself, it's got everything to do with the lights, people. It's the lights. Trust me, it's the lights. So now is when I also realized that I really wanted this border to be black. I should have cut it out on black cardstock, but no harm, no foul. We've got some black paint, so it should be right. So I just whacked it down on, I do have a clear placemat over the top of my grid mat that I've got there. So if you're new to my channel, by the way, hey, if you're new, hi, welcome to my crazy corner of scrapbooking. I absolutely love doing this. I pop up 6 videos a week. At the moment, I'm doing all sorts of crazy stuff behind the scenes. And yeah, to bring you new and diverse kinds of content and help you create some beautiful memory albums for your family and your special times in your life. So now I had someone ask me the other day about my mats and the fact that I leave my things on there when I am painting them with LUNAR paste or watercolors or distress oxides or all the stuff, right? Now, I personally, okay, I buy my Cricut mats. They're not the Cricut brand. They're an off brand. I buy them through Amazon AU. They're about $14 for 4 mats. So for me personally, I don't cry a river. I would rather bring you less clunky content and use the mat so, you know, I'm not all fingers and thumbs kind of thing. I would rather do that than worry about a mat that's going to cost me like $3.50, something like that. So for me, that's why I do it. If your mat is a big concern to you, then don't do it. I find that, to be honest, it really doesn't affect my mats very much at all. And you can wash them with soapy water and it takes all the fluff off, it takes all the bits of mixed media off, then you let them air dry and the sticky comes back. So I have no issue with it whatsoever. Now, I did modify this cut file ever so slightly. I cut the stars off. Why? Because that's where I wanted my photo to go. That's what you can do with these cut files. They're a jumping off point. Is it black and white? Does it mean that you can never, ever, ever move them? You must cut them how they are and use them how they are? Heck no. No way. That's not how we do it. You know, at the end of the day, it's your cut file. You've paid for it. If you want to trim the stars off and relocate them, I say go for it. Why not? So that's what I did. Now, you can see that I've gone through and I have done all my colored thread. It's in rainbow order, which is very pleasing to my eye. And it all comes in at the center. That's where I wanted to put my photo. So you can sort of see why I wanted my photo to go in there. That's when I glued down the word adventure. Now my camera is having a little bit of a hissy fit at the moment because at the moment it's trying to focus on all those stripes. But it's okay. Once I get these raised up letters, I went through and put strips of foam behind each one. I get my strips of foam from a person on eBay. They take forever to arrive, but they are the stickiest strips ever. I love them. If you want to know about where to get them from, jump over to my Facebook group. The link is in the description below. And I'll add you in over there, and I've got it pinned at the top of my Facebook group so you can see exactly where I go to get it. You can click on the link. It's not an affiliate link or anything like that. It's just where I get them from. So just be aware that they do take, I would say, a good 6 weeks easily to get to you. I don't know why they take so long, but they do. So as you can see, that's where I wanted to pop my photo. Now, I've put my photo up on a little bit of craft foam. That's just stuff that I get from Spotlight, no big deal. And the reason I'm putting my hand on it and holding it for so long is because I've got all those strings underneath it and I'm waiting for my art glitter glue to grab hold. Now, as you can see, I am putting the stars back in a similar position, but they're slightly turned up a little bit. So it's still the same cut file, but now this is where I just go to town. The other day I received an order of bling that I got from ALINA Crafts online, and I jumped on, and it was on AliExpress, and I jumped on there and I thought, you know what have I got to lose? It's a little bit of cash, and you know what, let's see if it's any good. I was very, very, very surprised. These containers that I've got them stored in, don't buy them, they're crap. The lids don't close. The little tiny lids, they sort of, as I open the big lid, which is why it doesn't bother me, because it's got another lid on top, right? But then all these little containers inside have got an extra lid. Now, they don't stay closed. It's very irritating, but you know, we live and we learn. I think they cost me something like $3 a container, and I got 4 of them. I think it was like $12 or $14 or something. Like, it wasn't a lot of money, so it's not a huge stress, and they are a lot smaller than I thought they would be. So these containers are they hold 1.5 teaspoons of bling. That's how small they are, but that is totally fine for me because the real estate on my shelves, it's not, I'm adding a lot of stuff at the moment, so I need to be smart about how much I need to store in containers and so forth. So as you can see, I'm just going to town here. That's why I've sped this up so much, but all I'm doing is tone on tone color, and I'm just doing I was halfway through bling and bead. Okay, so I'm going through with the bling, just with my wax tip pencil, putting some dots of art glitter glue down, and I'm just going to town. I'm up to the blue part, and I absolutely love how this came out. I don't like the O word, but I have to say, no, I can't say it. I can't. Sorry, influencers have killed me on the O word. If you know the O word, comment it down below. I can't stand it. It drives me crackers. This particular look is, it's my jam. I'm liking it. It's one of those things that I think it is just mwah. So basically, I will be honest, these bling, I will tell you straight up, I have bought the Pink Fresh Studio flat back metallic glitter, all the goodness, what do they call them, glitter drops, etc. And they are different to what I've got, what these are. These things are like hexagon shaped, and they have like a metallic shine on top, and the bead underneath is a color. So they are different. So I believe I'm going to have both of them in my collection because, you know, I do that. I become neurotic and I have to have all the things, all the stuff. I like to be able to put my hand on what I want at the time, and that's what I'm doing. So basically, at that point, I went to do Jen's hair. Jen's my daughter, by the way. And I went to do her hair for school, and I forgot to press record. So I did the black down the left-hand side. And as you can see, her hand there, she's on her way to school because this particular day we had a storm in the morning, and my Foxy decided to wake me up at 4:30 a.m. So I was literally finishing this page off at 7:30 in the morning because why not? My kids are pretty self-sufficient. They can get themselves, they get their breakfast, etc. They're not babies. So they're my babies, but they aren't babies, if that makes sense. So this is my layout, guys. Do you like it? Do you love it as much as I do? Because I tell you what, when you run your hands across this layout, all the texture is absolutely love it. Love it. Now, I will have a link in the description to where I got the cut file from, which is from Cut to You online. She has, it's her own website. It's not, I was going to say Etsy then, and it's not Etsy. It's, yeah, so if you like the cut file, jump on over there and have a look and see if that's something that you're interested in. This is, look at all that shine and shimmer. Ah, it's so good. I absolutely love it. Absolutely love it. And thank you so much for sticking with me and seeing it right through to the very end. And I will chat to you again soon, guys. Bye for now. See ya.